Hello, everyone. Oh gosh, I'm not sure the background music was playing there. Were you all hearing the background music? I don't think it was working. Sorry about that. Anywho, thank you all for being here. I hope you had a very, very Merry Christmas. I did. Hope you all got some time to rest, eat some good food. Oh, I'm so sorry, Suzy Q. Yeah. It would appear that the music was not playing. Sorry about that. I do apologize. Anyway, you all are here, and that's the most important thing. Hello, Fancy Fancy. Hey, Suzy Q. Hey, Mina. Hey, Evid Reader. Hey, Carol. Hey, Novi D. Hey, Black Queen. Hey, Dorothy Cordis. We are days away from 2026. Can you believe it? I've spoken to so many people. Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. I can see your comments now. So sorry, the background music wasn't there. My apologies. I think I must not have hit the button properly. But yeah, we are days away from 2026, and so many people who I've spoken to was like, 2025 put me through it. Now, I would say that 2025 was like, I wouldn't even put it in the top 5 of my worst years. Maybe like somewhere in the top 10, in the bottom top 10. Like I would consider 2020 to be one of the worst years of my life. COVID part 1. But listen, I know that this time of year, everybody's talking about their accomplishments and reflecting and whatnot. If all you've done is survive and put one foot in front of the other, and you're good right now, that's fine. That's fine. Surviving is just fine. Hey, True Fideli, thanks for being here. Right, let's get into it. First things first, a Christmas message from our fave. Make sure that you're subscribed to the As Ever email list so you get these messages. She said, our fave said, last night I was nibbling the remnants of our Christmas Eve feast, dim sum this year, wrapping a few last minute gifts and tiptoeing around the stairs with my husband to make sure Santa had enjoyed his cookies and the reindeer had eaten their carrots. Anything to maintain the morning magic of Christmas through our children's eyes. I plan to spend today cuddled up with my family, maybe pajamas all day, some Scrabble, or Candyland for the kids. Music playing, candles flickering, dogs snoring, endless grazing, the laughter, the sidebars and deep breaths. You know the ones, the fun and the memories. I hope that wherever you're cozied up with in your pajamas like we are, all dressed to the nines, whether you're with a huge gathering with your partner, your kids, or on your own. Wherever you happen to find yourself today reading this note, that you know I am wishing you a very Merry Christmas and all the blessings that come with it. From my family to yours, happy holidays as ever, Meghan. I really do wish everyone at least got some peace and quiet. That's what we all deserve around this time of year, but especially given the year it's been, we really all deserve a pat on the back. Sorry, give me a sec, folks. I just need to adjust something's going on with my screen. What's going on here? I think we need to... Let's try... Okay, give me one sec, folks. I think I might have to close the window and then come back. Oh dear. Oh gosh, what's this done now? Okay, I think we should be all right. All right, next thing is... Oh yes, Harry popped up doing some community outreach. He made a pre-Christmas outing to meet former inmates who became Californian firefighters. It's a great initiative, great community initiative. Here in the UK, there is a key making and shoe repair company. I think it's Thompson's or Timson's. They became one of the leading companies in inmate rehabilitation and hiring people and teaching them skills. So Harry and Meghan provided aid to victims of the California wildfires earlier this year, as we know. And Harry visited a special group of firefighters in California ahead of Christmas. He spent time with the Ventura Training Center of the Anti Recidivism Coalition, an organization aimed at ending mass incarceration in California and helping former inmates build a better life once they're released. During his visit, Harry met with a group of formerly incarcerated men and women who now serve as firefighters, helping battle California's devastating wildfires. The organization shared photos of the prince shaking hands and sharing stories with the brave members of CAL FIRE and the California Conservation Corps. Service has the power to transform lives. Indeed, it does. Service is universal. They captioned a slideshow of Instagram pics. This week, the Ventura Training Center, Prince Harry, the Duke of Sussex, spent time with formerly incarcerated firefighters, men and women who protect our communities during wildfire season, and are now continuing that service through long-term careers in the fire service. Alongside his work, they are also doing the deep work of healing, supported by the coalition's wraparound services, life skills training, and support. Thank you, Prince Harry, for taking the time to meet with our men and women and hear their stories. Their pride, leadership, and commitment are a testament to what's possible when opportunity meets purpose. This is actually very closely aligned, I feel like, with Invictus, like the spirit of it, right? As of January 2025, nearly 30% of California's wildfire force was made up of prisoners, according to Forbes. They use hand tools and chainsaws to clear trees from the fire's path with the goal of starving the blaze of its fuel. Okay. So the firefighters receive payment per hour, and they also receive a daily food budget. Upon their release, however, some are able to pursue full-time careers as firefighters and first responders. I think that's a fantastic initiative. Harry and Meghan live in Montecito, which is about 90 miles north of Los Angeles. So the wildfires obviously ravaged the LA area, and Harry and Meghan went to hand out supplies. And the fire service is an organization that Harry and Meghan were supporting regardless, right? So really putting their presence and money where it's needed and close to home. All right. And thank you all of those who serve their community. Okay. Oh, got some more people in the chat. Hello, Elaine Parker. I hope your eye surgery goes well. We're praying for you. Praying for a safe recovery, Elaine. Helen, you said, have you seen the news today? There have been bad floods in Southern California yesterday and today. No, I didn't see that. Thank you for informing us. I wonder if our faves will be supporting the clear up. Well, where there's help needed, and if they can help, we know that our faves will. All right, next thing. Sorry, folks. Give me one sec. I need to just adjust my screen. This is something's happening with my screen, and it is quite annoying. I need to try and fix it. Give me a moment. Oh, technology. Why is it doing this? Is it okay? All right. Exit full screen. No. Oh, there we go. No, that's not it either. Oh. All right, I'm trying to carry on while I figure this out. So next thing, let's talk about the other royals. Oh, I feel like the other royals are in for a very interesting 2026 because I believe that this is the year that they're really going to get put under the microscope. Charles seems to be recovering. Kate, they tried to soft launch working from home royals, working from their castles royals. William rolling around on his scooter, gaining the nickname Scooter King. And it just didn't, I don't think it landed the way that they thought it would land. And now that Kate is meant to be recovering from whatever it was she had, sorry, let me just sip my tea. What excuse is there for them not to be out and about? And what excuse is there for Kate and William, especially, to be the laziest of the working royals? So let's have a read of this. Got some visuals from Feminagra and this article from Celeb Bitchy. Okay, let's have a read of this. Oh dear. But I think this year definitely started or reignited a conversation about the work ethic of the royals and what their worth is. I've noticed the last week, ITV, Daytime TV, GB News, LBC, across all of the media channels, they've all been talking about, what are something along the lines of what are the royals worth? And I just find it interesting that they're all talking about it in this light. This is quite new. And I just wonder where this change of tone has come from. Does it mean anything? I think we'll find out in 2026. Anyway, King Charles was the hardest working royal in 2025. He had 535 engagements. Now, I've said this before. It doesn't matter how many engagements you have. Are those engagements creating impact? Because Anne has done well over 300 engagements, 300, 400 engagements every year for the last, decade or something? She's meant to be the hardest working royal. None of you in the chat can tell me anything Anne does. A, because we're just not interested in really what the other royals are doing. But B, because if it was impactful, you would know about it. You'd know about it. Like, even, for example, the Prince's Trust, which I still have some issues with. Because, for example, I think some of the loans that they give, you have to pay that back. Like, I think they should be grants, not loans. But the Prince's Trust, nonetheless, does create some impact. Hence, you know about it. But it's one of the few things that the royals do that create any impact that you know about. Duke of Edinburgh Award is another one. But I think even Duke of Edinburgh, you have to pay something to take part in the activities. They should be paid for. But I don't know, of these 535 engagements, and I'm guessing maybe a fifth of those at least were some kind of political meeting, banquet, or whatever. Out of all of these that Charles has done, what do you know of them? And this is why I think this conversation keeps coming up about what is the worth of the royals going forward in 2026? What is the British public actually getting back from it? If Charles is doing 535 engagements, what are those engagements? Because not all of them are charity related, and even the ones that are charity related, it's not like the charities get anything from it. This is another discussion that's been had with facts and figures. I might have to actually dig up that research paper that woman did some time ago, where she basically proved that having a royal patronage doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to get increased funding, increased donations, with the exception of Harry and Meghan's charities or charities that they're affiliated to. But again, the money is meant to come from public donations, but the public pay the sovereign grant for royals to go and do these appearances so that the charities can get exposure, so that the public can also donate to the charities. The whole model is ridiculous. So here are some photos of King Charles during his Christmas speech. Oh, we're going to get onto the Christmas speech in a moment. When he filmed at Westminster Abbey, oh yeah, you can tell it's Westminster Abbey because of the checkered floor. And some photos of Charles walking to church on Christmas morning at Sandringham. Charles once again got a pretty big royal gathering, despite reporting to the contrary. His nieces, Princess Eugenie and Beatrice, were in Sandringham with their husbands. Yes, they were. I think Andrew was seen around the area in the car, but I don't think he was with the family at the family walk. Would have been very bold of them if they had done that. Charles once again got a pretty big royal gathering. Okay. Princess Anne, Tim Lawrence, and the Edinburghs, the Tyndalls, and many more were there. Charles, well, I mean, of course they're going to show up because, listen, these people are still fame hungry. They want the spotlight, so of course they'll show up for their adoring peasants. Charles purposely invites as many of his nieces and nephews as possible, so no one will point out his share of the blame for his estrangement from his younger son, daughter-in-law, and two ginger grandkids. Charles's Christmas speech wasn't focused on his health at all. That's why he wisely gave a health update a few weeks ago during Stand Up to Cancer, so he wouldn't have to give that update on his Christmas speech. That's a good point. Charles focused on compassion and reconciliation. And the New York Times noted that the message was likely politically tinged given Donald Trump's BS with European leaders. Yeah, he did talk about diversity. However, that did anger some people on the right, which I'll get into in a minute. He also spoke about meeting the new Pope, Pope Bob, the American. The biggest royal news of the week was that Charles finally dethroned his sister Anne as the hardest working royal this year. Charles conducted 553 engagements throughout 2025, all while he was still being treated for cancer on a weekly basis and not technically working 5 days a week. The rest of the list: number 2, Anne with 478 engagements. Number 3, Edward with 313 engagements. Edward did 313 engagements. I didn't even register that man had left the house. So what are these 313 engagements? What was he doing? Was he on farms petting sheep? What was he doing for those 313 engagements? Because I barely registered that Edward had left the house. Left the estate, rather. So Sophie, Ford Fiesta, 235 engagements. Camilla, 228 engagements. The Duke of Gloucester, 212 engagements, and I don't know a single one. William, 202 engagements. That can't be right. I mean, I know that I don't follow William or Kate as that closely, but I just don't believe that William did 202. And what's also interesting is how these engagements are measured. Because if we actually looked into the figures, I mean, it could be a 20-minute meeting or something. And I wonder if they even register things like phone calls. The Duchess of Gloucester, don't know who that is, at 77. And 9, the Duke of Kent at 77. And in last place, there was Kate, only 68 engagements. So not even half of William, who did 212. Oh, no, sorry. William did 202. The Duchess of Gloucester, I don't even know who that is or what they look like. Apparently did 77. And the Duke of Kent, 77. I'd have to Google Duke of Kent. Kate only did 68 in comparison to Charles's 535. So Kate is being outworked by the 90-year-old Duke of Kent. Now I'm going to have to Google Duke of Kent. Because which one? Can one of you tell me which one that is? Duke of Kent. Oh, this one. Okay. Ah. Oh my goodness. Listen, I don't mean to laugh, but oh gosh, yeah. He's the one that wears all those medals. Yeah. Okay. He is the elder son of Prince George. Okay. Yeah, that guy. At 90 years old. Still working. Oh my goodness. So what do you even say about that? I mean, I guess Kate, I guess her excuse was she was recovering. Looking healthy as ever through that recovery, mind you. So the court circular lists every official engagement undertaken on behalf of the Crown. These include charity visits, meetings, receptions, ceremonial appearances, and state events. And they exclude preparation, private meetings, and personal time. The metric is narrow, but it is consistent. Okay, so meetings, that presumably that can be what? Zoom meetings and telephone meetings too? Helen, I don't know if you've seen that a lot of people in the UK are furious with the King's speech yesterday. I have never seen it on Twitter, so many people questioning him being king. Yes, I am aware. What's also interesting is how much of that is actually coming from the political right. So even commentators, for example, like this guy, who was upset that Charles was leaning into diversity as our strength, calling it bollocks, delivered without a flicker of self-awareness. Our Christmas message to the monarch is very simple. You stand for nothing, least of all your subjects. Now, it's interesting, this guy actually still believes that we need a monarchy and a monarch. He's just not happy with the, I guess, Charles's angle. This is clearly someone who's very, very nationalist. But at the end of the day, monarchy was never for the people. It was to uphold the social order. But I just thought I'd bring this up because I think it's interesting that even the people who would typically be pro-monarchy were having issues with it and are having issues with the way the monarchy is at the moment. But I think that anyone that just cares about social inequality, period, anybody with a sense of self-awareness is going to have issues. Because again, it goes back to the question of what are we getting from these people and what are they gaining and what are they also protecting? They're protecting the likes of Andrew. And I think this year, people really started to have a conversation about, the Queen's part in protecting Andrew while she was still alive. And I think there's just been an aversion to even mentioning that because, especially when the Queen was alive, because of this sense of protection and respectability that was still around her name. There was nothing respectable about that 12 million going to Virginia Giuffre. We all know why Virginia Giuffre was given that 12 million. And we all, I think, know where that 12 million came from. So if this is what our money is going to just protect the likes of Andrew, well, what is the point of the whole institution? It had to get to a scandal this bad for us to be having any type of critical conversations about the British royal family. And mind you, this scandal has been going on for almost a decade. And Andrew's just the tip of the iceberg. Those pictures have been out there. We knew he was involved with Epstein. Yeah, it's going to be an interesting 2026 for these royals, I tell you, because it's like the veil has for a lot of people been lifted. Of course, there are still the radical ones, like the people who line up outside of Sandringham. Yes, people did show up for the annual Christmas walk. Now, the first thing I want to say about this, out in the absolute freezing cold to give gifts to these royals. Okay, I mean, if you want to do that, okay. What I found weird and disturbing, and this is where I think the lack of self-awareness of a lot of royalists comes in. Although I will also say that there is obviously a whole propaganda machine that is designed to build this parasocial relationship with the royals literally from after the day they're born. Having royal mothers stand outside the hospital to take a picture with this baby that they just pushed out. But I noticed at this Sandringham walkabout the number of people who were asking the kids to take pictures with them. I'm sorry, but I don't think that's okay. And I also don't think it should be allowed, actually. I think if the kids are going to do these walkabouts, I think there needs to be a rule that everyday people, grown ass adults, don't ask to take pictures with the kids. I don't think that's appropriate. Now, granted, I think Harry and Meghan should take a lot of credit for this. Outside of the Christmas walk, outside of the Christmas carol thing, we don't actually see the Wells kids that often. I am actually for us never seeing royal kids ever. There's just no need for these children to be public in any kind of way. And I can't believe, growing up in the UK and growing up with the monarchy, that I actually used to believe that that was normal. Like we should have this obsession over seeing the kids. Like it's just when you think back to it, it's just weird. And unfortunately, I think what's happening now that the kids are, they're growing up, I think they are being slowly, not to the extent that I think in the past royal children were, especially. I mean, we don't have to go back too far, even just Harry and William. I think they've definitely pulled back, but you get the sense that the media and the tabloid media, especially, are desperate to see the Wells's kids because they don't have access to the Sussex's kids. And we see that in the way that they create narratives around the children, especially Louis. I find that very uncomfortable and weird. Having said that, watching the video, they actually seem quite happy today. Like usually they just seem really sad and upset. Um, I took more issue with the way a lot of grown adults were acting at this walkabout. I just think there needs to be boundaries with these things. Okay, let me go to your comments, then we'll get on to the next thing. Whoopsie daisy. Something going on with my computer screen. Sharon, you said just because Harry turned up for 1 to 2 events, he's the most hardworking royal. A joke. People like me can count how many charities Harry and Meghan attend. I mean, Harry and Meghan will show up for 1 or 2 events, but you see the impact. That's the thing. It's not how many events you go to, it's what impact you create. Quality over quantity. Harry and Meghan don't have to do 500 events. Heck, they can do 1 Zoom call, the money will start coming in. Because people want to support what they're supporting naturally. And this is where the other royals are struggling. They think just their names and their titles and their presence is enough. It's not. Gak, you said the mask is falling, I don't think they will be able to keep up pretenses when William takes the throne. The royalty media had with the royals is failing, yes. Yeah, watching tennis, watching football, that's considered work, which is ridiculous. I mean, I'm not going to sit down and go through all of Charles's 500 events, but I would be curious to know exactly what of those 500 and whatever events was considered work, because I don't believe that the royals work. The only thing they work to do is cover up their lies. That's the most work they do. They've been working to protect Andrew. They've been working to protect rumors about William and Kate's marriage. That's the work that they do. Wendy, with all of the engagements by these mediocre royals, their popularity keeps plummeting. Yes. They can show up to all the engagements they want. People are not naturally resonating with them. They're just not. Wendy Lowman, you said King Charles on diversity is so laughable. Can't take this man seriously on anything. Yes. And I feel like he only really said that because he knows how it looks, the way Meghan was treated. But one thing that the royals do, and they don't realize just how ridiculous they actually look when they do it, is they'll often project. So he's talking about diversity, knowing everything that Meghan went through. Camilla will stand there and talk about, oh, we want to help women who are in domestic violence situations, knowing everything that she's always stood for and the way in which she, put herself in between Charles and Diana's marriage. So this is what they do. They project to try and cover their tracks. But smart people can see past it. Those crowds were busting for that for that walkabout. To be fair, the walkabout is probably the only thing where they get crowds like this anymore. Because the last couple of appearances that I've been seeing, even for William and Kate, there's more barricades than there are people. And I think also like where the service is, mind you, the community there, that's the type of community that will actually show up for the royals. So it's very, very specific to this space, this community, this particular day. People know, oh, the royals are definitely going to be there. But it is literally, I think, the only one now where you get any type of crowds like this. Why do they drag the elderly people out to the cold? Honey, they drag themselves out. They want to be there, believe it or not. I think that this is a type of community where they're going to want to be there. They don't think logically. Like for them, there's almost this cult-like mentality. They will stay out in the cold. They will inappropriately ask a child for pictures. Very weird bunch. Not a psyche I understand, and I wouldn't want to understand it. No, thank you. All right. Next thing. Oh, where is slide number? Hang on a sec, folks. Is it this? No, that's slide number 8. So, okay. So, just to go back to Andrew for a second. Apparently, he's had his hunting boom boom license taken away. Now, listen to this full on GB News. We're going to listen to this and then I'll give commentary as the text goes on. So, this guy is talking about Andrew having his boom boom license taken away. Okay.
This is a big story, really, because, first of all, when the police went to visit him, and they regularly check up on, they're supposed to, everyone with gun licenses, And they went because it's the kind of thing, if they didn't check on him, someone would have pointed it out. And also, it wasn't Andrew himself they spoke to, it was his valet. Now, if his valet wasn't knowledgeable about the guns, he could have not answered one of the questions correctly, and that's enough for the police on the spot to withdraw the certificate. Now, they've taken the certificate away, but he's still got his guns, and he's entitled to use them as long as and transport them, as long as he's accompanied by a licensed gun owner. Now, as he only uses them for shooting on shoots, when he's surrounded by licensed gun owners, obviously, there's no big deal.
Have they leaked this, though, Piers, to try and humiliate him?
Yes, I think so.
Because I've got to the point now where I begin to think, hang on, what more are you going to do to this bloke?
Yeah.
And the thing is, if this is their version of accountability, this rather low-level, insignificant so-called humiliation, that's how you know we'll never get true accountability when it comes to Andrew. I mean, first of all, nobody needs to be shooting it at all. It's usually seen as something for the upper classes. I think it's completely classless. Very few people who go hunting actually hunt for the meat. There are some people who do, even in the UK. But most of them, they just seem to like the thrill of hunting, and I don't get it. I don't think Andrew goes hunting, for pheasants to eat. And so this whole thing of stripping him of his gun, stripping him of the titles, stripping him of his gun license. Can we strip him of that smile of his face and call the FBI and have him questioned and taken to court and hopefully in the end in jail? That's the only accountability that I would accept.
Yeah, I mean, that's why on this occasion, I'm a little sympathetic.
Yeah.
Because this is really not a story. He still got his guns,
right.
He can still use them.
Right.
And when he moves to Sandringham, where there's some very good shooting around there, particularly at Hokum, very good partridge, he will...
Says one who shot the partridge. Partridge on the pear tree, the 12th day of Christmas.
Exactly. Anyway, when he does move there, he'll be able to reapply for a certificate and get one, I'm sure. But
So no accountability at all then. Not that having your gun license taken away is accountability. And then he says he feels sorry for him. So feels sorry for him, why? Do you feel sorry for Virginia Guthrie? She's no longer with us and she's not coming back, despite her bravery. I feel like the reason the media ride on this way of thinking is because they genuinely want us to feel like outraged for Andrew. They genuinely want us to feel sympathetic. Honey, it ain't happening. It's just not happening.
This must be a case where the police ought to put out a bit more. I mean, if only to refute your point that it was just an excuse, just to, let's have another go at it.
Yeah, it does feel a bit like that.
Well, exactly, which is why I think the police need to explain a bit more. So. That they were worried that they weren't being kept safely or weren't being transported safely or whatever the concern might have been, they ought to say that.
I mean, the concern is that Prince Andrew has a boom boom at all and has access to them. That's for sure, that's a concern. But what I don't like is the way that they're trying to make us, the viewers, feel so outraged that he lost his license. And he should. I'm outraged that he has one and he has access to boom booms in the first place. That's what I'm outraged by. I don't give a flying. You know what? If he doesn't have his license, and that man sitting there and saying that he feels sorry for a Prince Andrew. Oh, sorry, for Andrew, no longer Prince. Feel sorry for him for what? He's still got more privilege than you'll ever get, more protections than you'll ever get, none of which he deserves.
I find it hard to believe that it was just malice to go there and let's strip him of yet another title, his gun license.
I think it's the valet who, and Andrew's only mistake was delegating the discussion to his valet rather than him talking himself to the officer or officers. There may well have been more than one, I suspect. If they didn't give the correct answer to one of the questions, then the police can take immediate action by removing the certificate. Now,
And none of that means absolutely anything. What they're attempting to do here with this whole gun license thing is basically just create like a false sense of accountability. So we've thought really, really hard, and we've done this really long segment where we're debating about whether or not Andrew should have his access to his boom booms. And in the wider spectrum of things, it means absolutely nothing to me or you, because we don't hunt. We're not part of those circles. But they're dedicating coverage to it is to create false outrage, and it is ridiculous. Other thing I wanted to mention. All right, let's slowly start to wrap things up. I want to say congratulations to Venus and Serena Williams, friends of Harry and Meghan. I do wonder, did Harry and or Meghan go to Venus Williams's nuptials? Venus is now married. Congratulations to her, finding love in her 40s after she's had a fantastic career, and also to her sister. Both Williams sisters are married. Congratulations to them. Wishing them all the happiness. Right, let's go to your comments and then we will start to wrap things up. Thank you, everyone, for your support this year, for the way that you show up for me. Couldn't do it without you. Okay, let's check your comments. Anybody doing anything special for New Year's? I think I'm going partying. And I haven't been partying on New Year's for a long time, so it's a treat to myself. Yeah, the squad donates hundreds of thousands just because we support our faves. That's what you're meant to do. You're not meant to be really looking, okay, what's the color of the grass? What's the greenness of the grass on the other side? Just focus on where you can create impact and don't worry about what's happening around you. This is the mistake that Kate and Williams' team keep making. All right, let me just check that I'm not missing any more slides. And sorry for those of you who are coming now. And I know there's a lot of like silent listeners. I know your names. You send me messages after the show. But we are going to wrap things up because your girl needs to sleep. And I do have some more festive celebrations coming. So I need to be fresh for those. Thank you very much. All right. Yeah. Listen, I think there's still so many great things to come in the following year. And my advice to everyone is just deep breaths. What's meant for you will come to you. What's meant for you is meant for you, right? So that's the energy that I'm walking into 2026 with. What's meant for me is meant for me. You know, I will attract what is meant for me. I will repel what is trying to harm me. Heather, not Kash Patel's FBI. Yeah, that's true. Actually, I think we'll probably hear more about that in the new year as well. Yeah, I guess not Kash Patel's FBI. You're right. Very corrupt. Yeah, hunting is cool. There needs to be an outright ban. I'm gonna say I hope that 2026 will be the year of reckoning for that family. They are so diabolical and corrupt. Indeed, they are. And the sad thing is that we wouldn't even be here talking about reckoning or hoping for a reckoning if they had just been nice to Meghan and left her alone. I think that 2026 should be the year of leave people alone. And if you're not one of those people who can leave people alone, expect that you will become the headline. All right. Oh, I'm going to say thank you to Cappy G, member for 45 months. You are much appreciated. Cookies and Creamy said, I believe Andrew needs to be stripped of his freedom as well as his gun license. I agree with you as well. I wonder the people who okay, do you know what? Never mind. Never mind. 2026 will be the year of reckoning. That's it. Yeah, protect Andrew, but not the Sussexes. Insane. All right, folks. I'm going to leave that here for now. We will catch up tomorrow if there is any news. It's slowed down a bit this week, to be honest. But we will see if anything else comes up. And I will catch you all later. Congratulations again, KPG, for 45 months. You are very, very, very much appreciated. All of you are. Ciao.